Friends, chess players, welcome back today for our educational games session. I'll play a match and try to share all my thoughts, explaining my reasoning to help you understand. Even though a 5+3 blitz isn't a full game, I'll show you how a master thinks. So let's go. Let's see what we get today. Okay, we're playing as black, so let's flip the board interface. My opponent is rated 1970, so here too, let's say a king's pawn game. Today let's play a French defense, so I can show you some other French structures. Now my opponent is already making a somewhat strange move. He plays f4, and he's not occupying the center correctly with d4. I can easily play d5 here and immediately put some pressure on him because I'm challenging the center. See? But more importantly, when he pushes to e5, I'll immediately play c5, and he won't be able to set up the center with d4 and c3 because if he plays d4, I'll take it. He's developing his knight now, so we'll also prioritize developing this knight. See, I'm focusing on controlling the center. He plays c3 now so that he can play d4 and support this center even more. I could just let him go ahead and do it because his f4 pawn structure is actually a bit of a slow French advance variation. You know what? Let's let him do it by playing knight h6. Why this move? I'm preparing against d4. See, the knight will go to f5, then bishop d3 is quite mind-blowing, I must say. It's throwing me off a bit because I've truly never seen it before. I need to take a few seconds to recover, I have to say. Actually, I could still put the knight on f5, because we really like the bishop pair in this position. We like the bishop pair, we really do, so I'd say we should just go ahead and put the knight there. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's put it there and take that bishop pair because honestly, it doesn't scare us at all. He's not taking it. Okay, very well, he's not taking it, so that's fine. Let's just continue with normal development. Let's play bishop a7, just as we planned. Sometimes in these kinds of positions, it's important to stick to your plan and not get distracted by what your opponent is doing. So we'll keep developing our pieces, keep our structure solid, and see how things unfold. It's all about staying calm and making logical moves, step by step. Of course, we are ready in case of g4 to put the knight on h4. He has this somewhat strange structure now. See, he hasn't taken space in the center. At the right moment, I'll very easily destroy the center with the move f6, precisely because he hasn't supported it correctly. So that's my plan. Let's see how it continues. Bishop c2. Okay, so now the center. He wants to take it. Let's see. I actually don't want to castle right away because I don't want to give him the chance to try a tactic with g4, knight h4, knight takes, bishop takes, and g5, which would trap my bishop and also threaten queen h5. So I want to delay it for a bit, this short castle. I want to delay it for a moment. And you know what? We'll play bishop d7. A preparatory move that we would have made sooner or later anyway. And now let's see what he has to say. In all of this, today or tomorrow, we always have the option to play this d4. Maybe one day we'll do it, but let's see how he plays. He plays a3, so again, he's keeping things a bit flexible. Now I could probably play c4 to go ahead and once and for all deny the move. The move d4. I could play it like that, or I could continue with the flexibility that I have here. So for example, something like a queen to c7 maybe, right? A queen to c7, or perhaps a queen to b6. Yes, queen b6, which somehow makes him go to h1. We don't mind that. Come on, queen b6. So we make him go to h1. And probably, since he's losing a couple of tempos, maybe the possibility of long castling. Maybe we could consider it, combined with the move h5. You know what? Let's have a little fun. Let's play h5 here. Obviously, now he has to be very careful. h4, knight g3. And he has to start being very, very, very careful at this stage. So let's see how he plays it. Now, probably the best way at some point will be to give up the bishop. But anyway, we'll also be happy he plays b4. We're in no hurry to take or do anything. Because if he takes... if he takes, I take. There's d4 and this is a strange position. Where does he have d4? So I'd say we play that c4 we mentioned before, so that now let's say d4. It can't be played because we'll take en passant and we'll be very, very happy about that. He plays d4 anyway. He plays it anyway. Well, we can't not take. And so his center now is again quite weak. Let's see what he takes with, because if bishop takes, I play knight e3 and take the dark squared bishop. In fact, he takes with the queen, you see. But now you no longer have bishop takes a 5, so I'd say that now this move is dangerous. Because now we're creating a direct threat, knight g3 check. And if you take, pawn takes, that's mate, huh? Because watch out. Watch out, because the queen controls all the squares, so he already has to be very careful here. See how in just a few moves we're already at move 13. Actually, with white playing this French defense somewhat inaccurately, there are already some pretty significant threats here. Maybe he should play h3. h3, knight check, king h2, but at the very least I take the rook. This is dramatic. How does he defend? Watch out. And knight d2, but ladies and gentlemen, this is mate. Knight g3 check. Knight g3 check. The king can't escape. You have to take with the pawn. Oh, you have to give up the queen. I take, and queen. h7 is the defense, right? Well, what can I say? We'll take it. Knight g3 check. Now I control this square. You'll have to take... You have no other moves. I'll take with the pawn. Let's set that as a pre-move, obviously. And the only defense will be to put the queen on h7. We'll take it, and after that, we'll probably play g6 to trap the bishop. But anyway, let's go move by move without rushing. Let's see what he does here. I feel a bit like a kid again. I haven't played the French in several years, I must say. Obviously, he takes. He has no other move. And here, my friend, I suggest queen h7, because obviously with anything else, if you block with the knight, I take with the rook, and it's mate. So, queen h7 here. Come on, play queen h7 so the game lasts longer. Why play knight h2? Why play knight? Now I take here and it's mate. And that's it. My opponents just love to end games quickly. Well, it wouldn't be sportsmanlike not to give mate here. I could easily just take and keep the game going, but it wouldn't be right. You always have to make the best moves and respect your opponent. So here we deliver mate, period. Good, so we have a bit of time. Let's go back and review it so we can discuss 2 or 3 mistakes. This game was also a blitz game. It lasted very little time. But you see, it only takes misapplying opening principles. I mean, this one here, the French defense, is an opening where white needs to take this space. And here, for example, one of the main variations is the advanced variation. What's the idea? Black plays to destroy your center, and you defend it with this move. I attack it, you defend it. In the game we just played, he started with f4, and that's a problem for him. Because now when I play c5, you see, he can't play d4, because when he plays d4, I just take it. And basically the pawn doesn't... I mean, you're not ready with the pawn on c3 to support your center. So here you take with the queen or play knight f3, whatever you want. In any case, you'll no longer have a pawn on d4 supporting the pawn on e5, like in the advanced French. You see, this way, if I were to take on d4, he takes back with the pawn and thus has a pawn that goes to support the center. That's why the move f4 here is quite inaccurate. And here I am again fighting for this square on d4. And here I chose, because here, if I want, I can already prevent him from playing d4, and I can play d4 myself. And let's say I played in a bit of a clever way by playing knight h6. What is my idea? That if he plays d4 here, he immediately ends up under pressure, because I take knight here, and immediately you see how I put the pieces into play. And he can't defend this point correctly, because he's both behind in development, and he's actually just missing pieces. So here now queen b6 arrives. In some cases, I also have the check on b4 with the bishop. So let's say I played knight h6 for this reason. He surprised me here with this somewhat strange bishop d3. And here I made this choice. I put the knight on f5, because if you take it, I still get the bishop pair. True, this position might not be beautiful. Let's see how it's evaluated. Yes, slight black. It's evaluated as a slight advantage for black. And let's say my bishop will be a little bit passive here on a6, right? So potentially the bishop will go to e6, but your structure is a bit deficient, because at some point I'll always have the move f6, with which one I'll remove the weaknesses of the doubled pawns, and 2, I'll go and undermine your center. So here, in fact, he was a bit still. I want to show you this moment, the moment when I chose to play bishop d7, because here, theoretically, I don't want to castle short, because I don't want to risk this theme. g4. And now if I play knight to h4, a move I obviously wanted to make in case of g4 without castling short, here he can take and can play this very strong move, g5. This move practically blocks my bishop, and not only that, the queen arrives on h5 threatening mate. If I hadn't castled, So here let's put bishop d7, here on g4. I can't play knight h4 here. It's there anyway, incredible. I was counting on, no, because of course queen h5 arrives anyway. I was making a mistake too. You see, I got confused because I wanted to play h6, exploiting obviously the fact that the rook is, that I'm not castled. But in reality, there's still queen h5 here because the pawn is pinned. Good thing I would have, by talking too fast, I would have made a mistake too. But you see this theme of the pawn on g4 with the pawn on g5, which let's say goes to block the bishop. Reason why I was flexible here and kept the bishop on d7, and after that I developed the queen like this. Then in case I also have this idea, and in any case I put you in difficulty. And at a certain point I decided it was time to start attacking. So I hope you enjoyed this French, which I repeat, I hadn't played for several years. And as always, if you want to support the channel, if you like this format, write it. I'll wait for you in the comments and I'll see you in the next videos.